If I was restarting again and had to go from my 275 pounds down to 210 to 200 pounds, first off, that would suck. I know how hard it was for me to do this slowly / quickly. Like, I would slow myself down, I'd be quick at times. It was really, really hard. So what I would do is, first off, it's mindset work. I know you don't want to hear this, but I would do this. I would literally write down the type of person I want to be. I would write down what they do every day, and I would literally change the identity. So the fat version of blank, Ben, put your name there, used to do this, but now is doing this. Now does this. It's easy for them to do this. So what I did is I pretty much, if you look at it as it's easy for people who are alcoholics, right? An alcoholic will act like an alcoholic. They're going to do what alcoholics do. They hang out with other alcoholics, and everything about their life revolves around alcohol. So they become an alcoholic. They go to bars, their friends are drinking, every weekend they're drinking, they're going out to eat, and then they get a drink. So you do that for the opposite. So anyone that's fit is going to make sure that they blank. So for me, I just made sure I put it easy. I move more and eat intentionally. Notice how I didn't say eat less. Eat intentionally. Because the very next thing about moving more, so I just made sure to start walking more. I then just made sure I ate enough protein every day. So this is a little math, but just pretty much 1 gram of protein per lean body mass. So if let's say I weigh 275, but I want to end up weighing 250, this was an actual real goal of mine. So I was eating 250 grams of protein a day. So that's, X amount of ounces, right? So you got to break that down, ChatGPT or Google it. But that's it. I pretty much just started there and walking. And then I got the courage to go to the gym again. Like I said, I was so fat and discouraged because everyone that saw me at the gym knew me when I was bodybuilding Ben, benching Ben, whatever, all those names. And boom, they got Tubby Ben, Kung Fu Panda Ben, all this different Ben. And so it took me a little longer just because of fear of what others think, judgment, criticism. I'd have to hear, what happened, man? How are you doing? Which I did. I ended up having to hear it, but that was the third step, was make sure I go to the gym. Now, the gym, I actually love the gym. It was hard to start it again because I was so fat and so discouraged, and it was kind of like starting weak again. So that kind of pissed me off because I knew where I was, and it was heavy to lift 50 pounds. I was like, dude, it was just so discouraging, only because I had been at such a higher level. And now I literally also was doing New Year's New Me. And so, they're like, yeah, they literally were asking, hey, do you need a personal trainer? I'm like, man, dude, I was freaking a bodybuilding. Get the freak out of here. I'm like, I know probably more than you. Take a chill pill. Done this transformation, but my body showed the opposite. It showed a fat Ben. So yes, get in the gym, work out at least 3 to 4 times a week. That's it. 3 to 4 times, easy split. Push muscles. I'm pushing with chest, shoulders, and triceps. Pull muscles, back and biceps. And then legs, hammies, quads, and calves, and glutes. Now, if you're wanting to go the extra mile, do the 4 days a week, I would do a day specifically on something you want to grow. So that 4th day, if I have lacking glutes, I do glutes that day. If I had lacking shoulders or arms, you get the idea. And then you rest the other days. And that's how it would start. Cardio, walking. Like I said, the very first one I did, I started with 10 minutes. I walked around, and a lot of times, because it started in the winter and there was actual snow outside, I'd start with 5 minutes because it was so cold. I'm like, that's it, I'm back inside. And I go back to bed. Do what you got to do. That's all I'm going to say. Eventually, you make it fun. And I started putting podcasts, audiobooks, and and then just walk longer and longer and longer. So eventually I didn't want to walk super long anymore, because I'm like, man, to get a lot of calories or a lot of steps, it's just a long time walking. It's like an hour and a half. So I would start to do a little bit quicker runs and things like that. And then my knees started hurting, so I went back to walking. So I started breaking up the walks. So there's many ways you can do it, but I ended up doing 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. Like if I only wanted to go twice, I do 20 minute, right? So find what works for you. In the end, you're going to want to be around 10,000 steps, 1 gram of protein per lean body mass, the goal weight you want to be at. And then I would go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week. And like I said, we really started with the mindset. Make sure you write that down. And then I would do progress pictures. I would honestly, because the change is so little, like it was as if like nothing was changing. And I was like, I'm doing so much, but nothing's changing. I'm starving, but nothing's changing. And then you give it a few months, like, holy cow, I've changed. Like if you see the video in the beginning, like it really picked up at month 5 or 6. I can't remember. It was like boom, like it's accelerated. I had hurt enough. I was so tired of just like slowly changing that I'm like, that's it. I have a foundation. I'm going balls deep, and I'm gonna start doing an hour cardio. Like I just ramped it up, and it did help. I actually ended up ramping it back down again with cardio, and I'm like, I'd rather just diet more because I don't want to be I don't want to spend more time in a treadmill like a mouse, like just on a treadmill. So I just decreased my calories. I got a little bit more picky, and I took away cereal, stuff like that. So like you pick your trigger foods and then take them away. So that's essentially what I did. I hope that helps. This is how I would start the new year, new me. A lot can change in a year's time. A lot. So much can change. It is up to you to make it happen. You are the catalyst. You are the one that decides I've had enough, or you know what, I can take this more. And if you can, that's the sucky part, because you either are moving towards pleasure, you're like, oh, that sounds so good, I'm going to do that, which is like 5% of the human race. And then the other 95 is like, it's so painful. Finally, the doctor tells you you have diabetes, you have, type whatever, like you're obese, and your kids are not going to be able to see you get paid past age 50. Like then they're like, okay, I got to change. So once the pain is enough, so they're either running towards pleasure or away from large enough pain. But that pain, some people have the highest tolerance. They're like, yeah, I can still live a semi-miserable life. And that's what happens. So you still are okay living a sucky life. So I just want to make sure you guys know you can change. You just have to be fed up enough. You have to be done. You have to be like, I just freaking hate this so much that every day I'm going to turn that hate into motion. I'm going to turn that hate into a nice healthy meal. I'm going to turn that hate into freaking lifting weights. That's heavy for me. And that's 10 pounds. That's 10 pounds. But that's 10 pounds of hate. You're like, freak this, man. That is rocket fuel. Now, that's not long sustaining fuel, and it would have to change eventually. It will. But you will learn how to love yourself and love everything you're doing. You'll learn the process and love the process. And that's the coolest part, is you end up loving what's happening, the change, and you're like, dude, this is insane what the mind can do. What the mind can think up and think it can achieve, it does achieve. So the body, you just sometimes have to just get emotion first, but I like to start with the mind if you can. And that's why that little journaling, write down who you want to be, check in on it. I didn't start weighing myself until I had been doing the thing for like about a month. That's why I say 275 plus, because I don't know my true weight. I was probably heavier, but I didn't want to even see the scale, because I'm like, I can't worry about myself if I can't even keep the diet longer than 3 days at a time, which was true. I would do 3 days and then I'd mess up big time. 3 days, mess up big time. And so a month it took me of doing that, and then finally I'm like, I'm sick of this. I'm so fat. I'm so freaking exhausted of being fat. I'm that fat guy again, and like, what the freak? And so you'll finally get fed up enough, you'll finally get pissed enough, you will get your butt in gear. But like I said, sometimes it just takes restarting that, and that's okay. So I hope this is motivating. I hope this inspires you to do better and just keep with it. I know New Year's, new me, you might already be tired, but think of it as like a new identity instead of these huge changes that are so drastic. It should slowly ease into the change. You slowly become that new person. And you're the person who does work out. You're the person who does do walks. You're the person who does eat healthier choices. You're the person who maybe doesn't eat out anymore, except for once a month. Stuff like that. You become that person, right? I had the privilege to talk to a lot of bodybuilders to find out what type of people are they, because that was my goal. And then I'm like, so what do they do? And so I started copying them. I carried around a gallon of water and drank the gallon of water every day. I started, like things like that. Like there's just a lot of cheat codes now. I hope there's a cheat code for you guys. And honestly, be patient with yourself. Like I put there in the description, if only we gave ourselves the same grace, patience, and love that we give our best friends, our loved ones, only then, like we would be so much better off if we did that to ourselves too. So that's why I say start with mindset, because you should be able to be like, hey, like I've forgiven them, I'm patient with them, I love them, even though the XYZ. So why can't I do that with myself? Right? So that's why I say start there. Start there, start moving, start eating more consciously. Like I said, all I did is increase protein. Guess what? It satiates you. It has a double thermogenic effect, so it takes double the calories to burn protein than it does fats or carbs. Fats just burn slower. Protein takes more calories to break it down in usage. That's why I'm like, just do proteins. That's all you need to increase. Increase your protein. You will be surprised. Even if you try to almost overeat proteins, do it. Try it. You're going to lose weight. It's pretty freaking cool. And then your carbs and fats stay the same. And then you start playing with your fats for hormone health, carbs for energy health around before and after the gym. All those science stuff, I'll give better advice later on. But I hope this helps. You guys rock. And as always, have a good one.